How you make that ass clap and you look back and I should take a photo with nobody I be.
Tell you what, as a teenager, I really wanted to be able to just do what I wanted to be self-sufficient, independent. I wanted to be part of the conversations that were aiming to make some sort of uplifting difference, constructive difference, and either celebrate, edify, or be part of the conversation. And I volunteered a lot. I've been in different cities, around different people. I've been in different provinces, around all kinds of different type of groups of people. And I moved a lot as a kid too, so I definitely was hyper aware of how adapting to the kind of table you're at is relevant. Adapting to what kind of space you're at is important, and adapting to how the way you speak and the way you come in and the way you sit and the way you dress yourself definitely has a difference. It has an impact on how you're going to be received, how you're going to be listened to, and how you're going to be treated and taken into account or not, dismissed or not. This elitist mindset that I mentioned, that I knew that, but I thought I was aware. I always been aware, like I want more, I want better, and to me it was a thing. Well, if you don't want anything to be better, or you don't want things to be improved, you want access to things that you don't have access to right now, why would you change? Why would you work hard? Why would you won't? You'll just do the minimum, do what you need to do to be happy, to enjoy yourself, and to have fun, which is okay. But I think the whole thing of wanting to come up, wanting to grind, wanting to leave from the mud to go and the terms that came to mind is cleaner spaces, but the way I compare it is like there's nothing wrong with being in a garden. Like, nothing wrong with that. But I don't know if you've ever been in like a really sleek hotel or something. They have plants inside, but they're all like, it's improved the space. So that like sleek feel you have when you go into a room, and like there's a difference. You see the difference. You know the difference. People walk in a different way. You walk in a space like that, it's really beautiful, clean, organized, everything, and you're compared to when you come in somewhere where there's clutter and everything is messy and it's not about an opinion or judgment or anything like that. It's just the way you walk in, the way you are changes. And there's a reason why when people travel to anywhere in the world, even if you stay within your own city, your own country, your own province, your own neighborhood, you'll know there's different type of spaces where you walk in a different way. You know you dress a certain way. You try to look a certain way because you're aware that it's like higher up. The moment I wanted and started to make moves to go in rooms that I haven't necessarily had access to before, had conversation with people that I haven't had the chance to meet before, and be part of conversations where an impact could actually be done. I became aware that the way I speak and the more specific terminology I start to use, the more what I say start to sound like I'm unveiling the concept that are in my mind. I'm not just talking for the sake of talking. I'm generally trying to share ideas, bring an opinion up for the sake of trying to get to a result. When it comes to work, school, social anything. It's important to have fun. It's important to connect with people. It is. That's what togetherness is about. Elitist is not necessarily wanting to be true. Elitism is about wanting to be the best in society, so you can lead, intellectually lead for the best. A lot of people think elitist, and there's a description. Give me a second. You can actually not just talk. It's like I'm talking. Forget the true thing. Element 11. Elitism. Elitism. Leadership or rule by an elite, the selectivity of the elite, snobbery, not good. And choosing new members, we don't want that. Consciousness of being or belonging to an elite. What is elite? Choose, choice part, cream, the entertainment world, for example. The best of the class, super achiever who dominate. The socially superior part of society. Just speak that as a definition. A good person who by virtue of position or education exercise much power or influence. The interest of the country, member of such an elite, using people. Typewriter, typewriting, 12 character, to the linear inch, elite adjective. Anyway, there's elite, and then when it comes to togetherness, together, together, together with, togetherness, in addition to, in association with, appropriately prepared, organized, or balanced, composed in mind or manner, warm, sensitive, reasonable. Collection or group. Yeah, my reading right now is not entertaining. Oh, right. Striving for the best, trying to come up is important. Doing it together for the sake of a community, for the sake of a family, for the sake of a group, for the sake of the generation after or before you is always going to be relevant. But it's very easy to get stuck into seeing old money aesthetic and want to achieve or look like that. It's very easy to see people in the industry, music industry or film industry, and look at red carpets, look at whatever magazines you're into, look at whatever interviews or table talks that you'll see and be like, oh, I want to talk that way. It's not that you want to talk that way, that you'll hear somebody or a group of people speak and see how they are received and how their ideas are being understood or accepted as valid information to listen to. Ponder about, like, food for thought, like, okay, I'll think about this and view or consider it with value. And it became such an objective that it took a lot of my energy and focus to work hard, to work different type of opportunities, volunteering ones or paid ones, for the sake of growing my awareness, growing my skill, growing my knowledge, obviously being able to assist and help, but most of all, grow the maturity and the skill set necessary to be able to assist others, teach, educate, so that I'm not just the only one doing that for me, that I'm doing it for the sake of, I'm going to teach my brother over here that he can come up to. I'm doing this so that even though I'm not the elite version of myself, I transpire and show up in spaces where I know who I am and what I can bring, and I'm confident that I can do something that's going to be useful for the sake of the group, not because I think that it's useful, but because it constructively is, based on experience, based on the volunteering that was done before, the conversation that was heard, whether it was TED Talks or lectures at school, or everything is accessible online. But I was so focused on wanting to come up, listen to people that know more, that you forget that everybody knows something you don't know. Poor or rich, young or golden age. No matter how pristine a job position may sound or look like, you don't know until you speak to people what they went through and what they have learned and what they can share with you that you will connect with, and what they can share with you that you can learn from. Elitisim is a lot about potential and opportunities. A lot of people are very wealthy within. People have wisdom because of their life, or because they've seen things happen, or just because all the information they gathered within their own life experiences. And at the end of the day, being wealthy or looking wealthy, speaking in a way that sound or is educated, has an impact and is important. But more than anything, I kind of got lost into the sauce and forgot that before all the sauce I was trying to add, I already had sauce. So many people I've known that have been and were always in a state of working really hard to pay bills and whatnot, cared about wanting to look a certain way, look good, because you get treated with respect even if you don't have X amount of zeros in your bank account. If you show up with a clean shirt, a smile that you clean, that's all, right? And a good attitude, and you're hardworking, you're not lazy, things are gonna come up for you. It's just a question of time. But it's also true that even if you're all these things, opportunities may just never come. And some random guy or random woman somewhere will have more opportunity than you, simply because of your access to certain connections, access to certain places, access to certain stores that you may not have access to because of your current level of income, because of your current level of education, because of where you're located, or because of what you have learned and known. Just get me, just when you're rich, you can just buy assistance. I need a plumber. And it costs you. And you can do that. And your stylist. If you don't have the coins, you need to figure it out. You need to come together. What I just said is a preconception, because truly, if you're truly wealthy, you're wealthy because you were able to connect and effectively put your focus and energy in a way that made you self-sufficient as well as an esteemed part of a team or esteemed part of a set category in society where you are needed, you are of need, you are thought of as filling the blank. So many people focus on the come up so much that the day that you come up at the top of the mountain, it's not the part that you're alone, that's not even the part that I care about right now. It's the part of, did you come up for you or did you come up for other people? Elitist is not me if it's only about you and you being better than people. But if being elite is so that you can do your best, that you can do your best for the sake of yourself, for the sake of having the best that you can have, for the sake of being grateful, for the sake of showing up with your best foot forward, for the sake of wanting to, at some point, being able to have conversations where you grow from what you're being offered or what information is being shared with you, and you're able to grow them as well by empowering, growing, encouraging whatever is being said. And if it's conflictual, that you receive, accept, adjust, or receive the complaint if it's not something just or it's like constructive, it's really just implements or something, come in, like okay, and see how can we grow from here through here or each other. I think that leadership and wanting to become or instill this mindset of elite is very important if you want to have access to places that you never had access to, and to be able to have conversation with people that you haven't had the chance to speak with yet or so far. Different stages, different people imply that you're not you're gonna need to do different things. You're gonna need to adapt. And in order to be a leader, it's not just a thing about skill or education. There's a lot of cues that come in. And I think that it's important to be versatile and to adapt. To be okay when you're at a barbecue, to be okay when you're at a park, to be okay when you're at like a fancy, like all white picnic or something. I don't mean occasion. I mean like to dress up. Anyways, there's like events where you dress in all white or all black or like cocktail, or you see what I'm talking about. Like there's ways where there's an expectation of how you're gonna dress. There's an expectation of how you're gonna talk. There's an expectation of how you're gonna conduct yourself. The expectation of the kind of jokes that are okay, not okay, risque, you know? I think that this is something that they don't necessarily teach you at school, but it is an education. It's life education. Some people never went to school, but they're brilliant business people. They know how to talk to all kinds of people. Why? YouTube. Listen to interviews. Listen to people talk about their experience, how they were able to be with different people, and how they showed up. For me, I used to be very, very, very socially awkward because I didn't recognize cues, and I was very okay with like shutting the fuck up, and or the other way around, speaking way too much. But either one is an extreme that is based in judgment, and as people, you're gonna be in spaces where people do judge you based on how you dress, how you look like, how good your hair is done right now or not, you know, if you have makeup on or not. It shows. So why am I talking about this? Because I feel like I was keeping a lot of this information for the sake of growth to myself, and it doesn't grow me. Like I obviously grew as a person in the past decade, 2 decades, but I definitely think that it's going to be useful if I try to be verbal about all those leadership skills that we hear all the time, but truly about, I think it's truly about being versatile. Because it's not about being elite for the sake of being snobby and having old money aesthetic, but truly it's about knowing what it's like to act and behave in a way where if you are in the old money aesthetic or conservative type of environments, that you are acting, dressing, and speaking appropriately for those professional or like very proper places, and you're okay as well if you're just like at a hangout house party with people you don't know or you know that you will meet. And there's different categories, different types of setting that you need to adjust to, and you don't know if you're uncomfortable and nobody ever talked to you or spoke to you about what is a good way or bad way. And this definitely shows and applies when it comes to work opportunities, when it comes to actually leaving school to go do volunteering or leaving school to go do a internship. I have tried so hard to fit in different places and it didn't work. Showcasing how if I can adapt, and I'm still, but I would used to be so freaking awkward, you guys. If I can adjust and be able to express myself in a way that's so much more efficient and to the point that it used to be, a lot of us can do it. You can do it to an extent, for sure. If I used to dress like a mess, a tomboy definition of a human being, and find a middle ground, if I used to dress a certain way and find a way to find a middle ground, it's not about letting go, it's about being able to adjust to different settings. The river flows, the river overflows, the river drives up, the current moves depending on what the fudge is in the water, right? That's what you're supposed to be. Flow. It's also good. If you want it, here's a link. Anyways, on that, it was a pretty exhaustive, all around the globe, disruption of time. Thank you for keeping the same posted. And how would I conclude this? I need to fast forward this because this is running out of memory. Well, can you see it from here? Huh. I think it's important to sometimes put yourself in check and see, are you working hard because you want status? Are you working hard because you want the result of this job, this letter, this amount of money, this level of credit or respect that's going to be shown to you after you do this list of things? Accolades, likes, comments, snaps, applause. These are all about you. But if you stop and take a step back and look at a bigger picture, are you only getting to this level of focus to the objective that you have or that you had in order to gain for you, which is necessary for survival? Or is there other questions, other reasons, deeper in terms of the iceberg? What you see at the easily outside of water doing this, da 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 da, top of the iceberg, all the things under the water. You know what I'm talking about? And if you're trying to effectively become a better version of yourself, whether that's for you, for your circles, your community, or even a bigger thing that's specific to whatever your goals are, great for you. But if you pause and start to assess that, you don't have to do it for like as long as I did, but just know, but like it's gonna come regardless. Even if you never pause, it's gonna come regardless. At some point, life is gonna show you things and be like, oh shit, my motivation was all in this direction. I lost who I used to be. This is a great reminder of who I used to be and how much you've grown, or this is how I used to be and look how I'm not doing that shit no more. Why is that? Did I like being like that before? Okay, how can I implement things so I can find a balance between who I became, and who I used to be? If you're still that person, you just have to find like a balance that works with the version you are now, right? God bless. I was about to say stay in school. What kind of advice? I'm not even following my own advice. But stay hungry. Stay hungry to learn from life. Stay hungry to learn from scholars. Stay hungry to learn for the sake of growth. And don't forget that it's not just about improving, it's also about enjoying life that you have right now. You can speak, you can hear, you can learn, you can do something, you can get up, you can enjoy this beautiful sunny day.